to school. I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. Be what I wanna be.
STEM is competitive advantage. STEM is real-world problem solving. STEM is business partnerships and community involvement. STEM is an agent of positive change. STEM is all this and so much more. Just as STEM learning occurs in a synergistic environment, so too do STEM educational programs, uniting students, teachers, parents, universities, small business owners, and community leaders. STEM is synonymous with engagement. Every day in labs, classrooms, and STEM-themed events and functions throughout the district, STEM students and teachers partner with advocates and sponsors who help promote, enrich, and support the programs. True learning does not occur in a vacuum. Neither does STEM education. STEM is truly collaborative teaching and learning.
STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. I like it because you can make things and you can learn more about technology and you can learn more about engineering.
We've made a sensory toy for people who cannot hear, touch, or see. My favorite is the anemometer. I think, it's the anemometer. An anemometer is something that it tells you how fast the wind is going. Well, you should have a STEM class because if you have a STEM class, you can integrate everything that you learn in one unit into everything that you learn in another. And also very important because other children in the world do not have a chance to do that. But it is quite fun, and do not think that you're a nerd.
I will tell my friends that it's important because some people don't know about STEM and others do, but some people know about it but don't understand it.
But there's a lot of careers and stuff that you can work on inside of STEM, and I think that's what STEM really focuses on, your career when you grow up.
I like having STEM classes like this because it prepares me for the future when there's like thousands of technological things outside, and I think I might want to know how to use them.
I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school.
Today, our fourth graders are learning all about weather, and we've been discussing this over the last month. They've learned about fronts, they've learned about precipitation and the water cycle, and today their job is using their understanding and knowledge of weather to help design and create information that can go out to all the students of Vanderlyn, including weather reports and protection for our playgrounds so that we can play no matter what we're experiencing outside.
Excellent. So we could make our own Vanderlyn Weather Channel website, correct? Perfect. What else could we do, Ethan?
You could either have like a weather calendar at your school.
Oh, so could we use this stuff that we have out here to help tell students what's coming up? Beautiful. And then what could we do? We also want to take care of our playground, right? Because we play on there every single day for recess, right? So our second job is we're going to try to design and create something that if we could build it, we would protect the playground equipment from the elements, from the different weather that happens here in Vanderlyn's area, okay? Give to him. Okay, engineering design process. Go for it. If you have questions, I'm around to answer.
I'ma go to school. Yeah, I'ma go to school. I'ma go to school. I'ma go to
how does our science relate to the real world? So you're not just learning science in isolation. So when we're learning about cells, taking that to the next level, because making sure there's a connection from what they learn in elementary school, middle school, and high school, and how they can actually start to be problem solvers, and then not waiting on other people or other countries to solve the problems, especially we have here. So our focus, even with this aquaponics lab, first to be able to feed, you know, your school, your home, then community, then also being able to take the fish and the vegetables and feed other countries.
My name is Michaela DeShiel. I'm in 4th grade, and today I'm going to show you our aquaponics lab in our school. So over here, this is our NFT system, and we grow all of our plants without soil. As you can see, we start using clay rocks for a specific reason. So when we first got our aquaponics lab, we used to use soil because we didn't know the consequences that could happen. Because we found out that fish produce ammonia, so we didn't need to use soil anymore, and soil gets clogged in the tubes that the water runs through. We grow our plants without soil because of our fish tanks. In this fish tank over here, we have tilapia and goldfish. When the fish produce ammonia through their waste and through their gills, it goes through our siphon, which is right here, and it goes into our clarifier, and it gathers into a pile. Over here, our water filtration system, and it gets filtered because when the cycle starts all over again, we don't want it going into our tanks again being black. So when the cycle starts, it goes through these black tubes or pipes up here through our water filtration system, and it gives nutrients to all our plants and fish. So when it goes through all the plants and all the plants get nutrients, it goes through our big water can, as you can see right here. So when it gets up to about this height, the cycle, it goes through this white tube you see in there, and then it travels along. Well, every 2 hours and 15 minutes when the cycle starts over, it goes through all the white pipes, up this white pipe. We have 3 different kinds of fish in 2 separate tanks. In this tank we have tilapia and goldfish, and in that tank we have bluegill fish that we're trying to take some of the bluegill fish out of this tank so they won't die. And the reason is because goldfish and tilapia need a warm climate, so we have a heater in this pool, and there is no heater in the other pool. This is our raft system, or a deep water culture. It kind of works the same as our NFT system, which I showed you earlier. It does the same process. We have holes with our plants so the roots can get ammonia from the bluegill fish in here. The only way the NFT system and the deep water culture are different, they're in different containers. So this is lettuce right here, and those are peas right there. And we have beans right here.
My name is Mr. Figueres. I am the robotics and engineering instructor here at Ronald E. McNair Discovery Learning Academy. This is our robotics and engineering laboratory. This year, one of the things that we are doing is we are taking off with flight. We have introduced a new aviation curriculum and component to our school, and so today we've got some students in exploring with aeronautics. So we are doing everything in aeronautics, from discovering the forces that act on flying machines to maneuvering the control surfaces of an airplane. After the kids have understood all of those things, then they get a chance to fly on a top-notch flight simulator. All right, this is our flight simulator. All pilots that learn how to fly must be trained on a flight simulator before you go and fly a real plane. This plane that we're flying is called a Cessna Skyhawk. Pilots usually learn how to fly on a Cessna because it is a single engine, single propellered plane. It goes very slow, so it allows you to learn how to take off and land pretty easily. The scenario has us taking off from DeKalb Peachtree Airport. So we're actually in Atlanta as we're flying around. So this scenario is also set up in a non-attack mode, meaning there are no weapons on the plane, as well as, when you try to land, if you're near something, you don't have to worry about it. You'll just go right through it, because this simulation is to teach us how to fly. So we're learning how to take off and learning how to land. Now again, this scenario is set up where you can land anywhere in the city. Even though you see buildings and those kinds of things, if we get close to them, we're just going to go straight through them. So don't worry about that. All right, now once you touch down, you want to push the yoke all the way in. Because what's happening is, as the plane is touching down, it's wanting to bounce up and come back up. So once it touches down, push the yoke all the way in. That's right. And that'll keep you on the ground. And guess what? You survived. Now, I might have needed a barf bag to fly with you, but you made it. Yay! Awesome. All right.
For our water pollution project, they had to choose 5 materials to design their project. They didn't have to use all 5. They could use as many or as few as they wanted to. So they could choose a screen, they could choose a cheesecloth, they could choose 5 paper coffee filters, they could choose a half a cup of gravel, a half a cup of sand, and they could choose 4 cotton balls. So they had 5 materials. And our purpose was to filter out polluted water. Our polluted water was tea, dirt, and cornstarch. So they had to filter out that water. Our purpose was to make it cleaner. Now this is tea, so there will be tannins left, but our purpose was to figure out how to filter out particles. Number 1, we had 2 criteria. One was to filter out particles. The second criteria was to filter out the color. So some of these materials would filter out the color, and some of these materials would filter out the particles. And we talked about how the United Nations helps many developing countries with water filters, and what they use a lot of sand. And they use art sand, which is what we use, because art sand does not have any color.
So we have an assigned habitat. So we have different adaptations that we can put on our animal to help it survive in that habitat.
And we have to draw it to show what it would look like, and we have to make it fit in with our environment.
It has a helmet right here. It has claws around the hands, the thumb, and the feet, and the tail for claws and sharp spikes. It also has wings to fly up and to catch an animal by surprise. And
Have a name? What do you call it?
yeah, shark nut.
Say it again?
Sharp nut. Sharp nut. Hashtag sharp nut. And it also has sharp teeth for eating its prey.
Being in a STEM school is really fun because we get to do more projects than we used to. I remember when I was in 2nd grade, a 5th grader got to make bacteria, but they didn't get to use the microscope. But now I'm pretty sure we get to use a microscope.
I enjoy STEM classes because I get to be creative and design.
So me and my team of scientists have found a new and unfamiliar animal. And the animal that we had picked to go with, you must combine it with 2 different stages. That meant we had picked a mammal and a fish. That meant we had picked a wolf and a stingray. That meant for the model of the animal, we are using Lego bricks and motors to make the animal move.
Our second project in 4th grade was the concussion helmet. First we learned a lot about the brain, like different parts of the brain, how it works. And we worked on the helmets and stuff like that, football helmets, the padding and stuff like that. We tried to make the padding a lot softer, and we tried to think of how we could absorb the shock when they hit someone.
In STEM class, we've actually tried to create a ship, like a rocket, that would go, so it would be a cardboard model, but so it had to have a parachute, it had to be able to land safely onto the ground. We were testing that, and that was really fun in the STEM class.
She'd like us to count 100, listen, and build, and do our project and our homework.
every single day.
The best part of STEM is I get to learn STEM with my friends, my teacher, sometimes my sister maybe.
We've made different types of clouds showing the different types of precipitation. We've started doing a project on how we can be our own meteorologist. We're working on Tinkercad, which is a 3D program where you can create things with geometric materials on the computer, and then it saves onto that account, and you can plug it into a 3D printer and you can print that idea of yours.
No, we imagine what we want to do, we plan it and then plot it all down on paper. Then we create a model, and then we we test it, and then we improve it at the end.
And I think it's really cool that you can create things in 3D print them instead of you actually have a 3D printer, and most schools don't have stuff, and we have two, which is awesome.
When I grow up, I want to be a micro engineer, or work with toxic bombs and stuff like that. I want to keep our community safe, and the microbots, I just think tiny stuff can become really, really big, and somehow it can help stuff, inside of the ocean, there's been oil spills and stuff like that. I think that I want to create a bot that can clean the oil up without harming any animals or stuff like that.
I want to be a doctor because they help people feel better.
I decided to be a neurologist because most people have brain cancer and they have Alzheimer's and dementia, and I want to be a neurologist because my great-grandmother has dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yes, I specifically wanted my daughters in a STEM school because one, it's not enough brown babies, girls, in science and with science-based careers, especially NASA and the CDC. And if they learn early, maybe they'll be interested in doing more.
I think it's important to learn in a STEM environment because academics is not an individual sport, and that is what they're seeing at Sagamore Hills Elementary. They work in teams, and they collaborate, and they put their brains together to come up with a solution, and that really excites me to say, you have a brain, but academics is not an individual sport, and you're going to see that at a STEM school.
I think it's important for children to learn in a STEM environment because they learn how math and technology underpins so much of what we do in everyday life and how it affects so many aspects of our daily life.
So I really think the STEM program too is about the kids becoming problem solvers and really focuses and teaches them a way of thinking that really kind of cuts across, in my opinion, every curriculum, every class that they have.
Well, I learned about the STEM program a few years ago. I was a new Vanderlyn parent, and I answered a PTO request that they needed a STEM co-chair for the first ever STEM committee for our school, PTO STEM committee. It was already underway, the program, but they needed PTO support to help get things off the ground with getting a STEM lab created and running, and I volunteered to be co-chair of that PTO committee. And then from then on out, I moved on to different roles helping, but I'm very well aware of it because it's such an integral part of our curriculum now.
My children have responded amazingly well to the STEM program. It is right up their alley. They love, they're kind of tinkerers, fixers of things by nature, and they love that they can come to school. They enjoy projects. They're a little different from some children. They like projects, and they love the challenge of trying to create something and come up with something that's unique to them. And they look forward to it, and they will come home and tell me, this is what we're working on in science, or this is what's going on with Mrs. Aho in the STEM lab. They're just very forthcoming about what kind of projects that they work on.
But with the STEM process, there's a whole new level of learning how to address a problem and fail at a problem. That's actually the part that I like the most. Is in normal schooling, failure is failure. In the STEM process, failure is a part of the process. And I think that's so important for kids to learn how to struggle and persevere. And to me, that's one of the greatest values that STEM has brought, is they know when you do something, you have the perfect idea and you build it and there it is, and then it doesn't work like you want, it's like, oh well, and you move on. No, that's the beginning of the process. And now you keep on and you work, and then you, and that's the kind of people you hope are out in the world that are able to move and change things.
Well, I have one that I just experienced. They said, we'll be building flashlights in the 2nd grade classroom. How do you make a flashlight with 2nd graders? And it was toilet paper rolls and Coke cans that a parent had cut and taped around, and little teeny light bulbs and batteries and wires, and the kids got so into it. I learned how to make a flashlight. It was amazing. It was amazing. And my daughter still likes to reconnect hers and go around and go in a dark room and turn it on, and she's so proud of herself, and I'm really proud of her because I didn't think they could do it, and they did it, you know?
Well, and I love that all of these challenging problems within the STEM process that these young kids are given are so applicable to real life problems. I recall my daughter, when she was in 2nd grade, she had to build a road to solve the curve of a road to where a car could stay on the road without falling off. That's highway design. How amazing is that? That's something that she can take with her for the rest of her life.
Some of my thoughts were about what they're learning here is that I wanted to do it. Because when I was in school, we didn't have this. We didn't have aquaponic labs, and we may have had a grandparent garden, but you didn't have a water cycle and a life cycle of water and fish that you're growing for to feed your community. I wanted to come be a part of it until they told me they had a tarantula. I backed out.
Well, you know, how can you not get excited about STEM projects? I have 2 daughters and I have a 5-year-old boy. And so, of course, my boy wants to learn about tree frogs and poison dart frogs. And, you know, they get to walk down the hall and look at these fish that are growing and see vegetables. And I got 3 children in a STEM garden club. And guess who's growing a 10-foot garden in her front yard now? This lady that right here that doesn't have anything green on her thumb. My school did that.
I work at the Carter Center, and one of the things we do is fight neglected diseases in remote locations. And when I heard that my son's class was going to be studying water filters, I wanted to show him and the rest of the 3rd grade what the Carter Center does with water filters in real life. I brought examples of water filters. I showed how filters are used in real life and how they are making life better for people in remote communities.
I do think that there are definitely, when it comes to STEM programs, it does seem way more advanced than the way we grew up in my generation. And I'll admit that there are times when they come home with an assignment or a project that I've thought, wow, that's pretty intimidating for a child this age. But then when I see how it's actually implemented and taught step by step, and that they're very capable of it, of something that at first sounded intimidating to me, but they're not intimidated because they've been given the basis of how to do these projects step by step. So it's pretty impressive.
If there was another parent considering coming to Vanderlyn for a STEM program or another school with a STEM program, I would highly encourage them to do so. I think that the exposure to all of those things, again, the technology, the science, the math, the engineering, it's just unparalleled.
I think all parents should consider a STEM school, and if I were to give advice to a parent, I would pick a STEM school over a non-STEM school, just because there is so much focus on creativity, ingenuity, innovation, the level of academics that are offered at a STEM school, I think, are above and beyond a regular school. And here at Vanderlyn, I feel like we have the best of both worlds. We have STEM, but we also have a big focus on the arts. We have dance, we have music, you know, we have all of these other things. So to me, Vanderlyn is just the perfect combination of the STEM focus while not forgetting all of the humanities as well.
You know, I'd say to other parents that are considering that, just to say, you know, you got to look at your options to say, this is above and beyond. And wow, to be a part of above and beyond, who wouldn't seriously take a look at that?
The proudest moment that I would say in the 4 years that we worked to get our STEM program is when I see the children come in and when they discover something that they did not know, and you see them light up, and you know at that moment they got it. That's what makes it all worthwhile. That moment when you can see that child, when they have that aha moment, when they've been working so hard, because the teachers make the lessons very, very difficult so that the students will, watch this now, fail on purpose. There's a philosophy that says you got to fail forward. So they set them up to fail. They put strategic roadblocks in place to make them have to think and redesign. But when the children figure out, I got it. And they're so proud to say, you thought you had me, didn't you? But you didn't get me this time either. I got it. And guess what happens? I get to experience that all day long as a principal.
I think the proudest moment would be when we actually sat before that board and we received our advanced ed STEM certification, because that was the defining moment that said to us, to the teachers and to the Vanderland community as a whole, that the work that we had been engaged in for 4 long years really paid off, and it validated us for a school that is a trailblazer and that's a trendsetter, not only in the state of Georgia, in the DeKalb County School District, but really worldwide.
My proudest is working with our teachers and our staff, having conversations about meaningful instruction. I think that is my proudest, to see where we are as a faculty.
I would just like to say this. I would like to thank our leadership in DeKalb County for giving us the opportunity to stretch ourselves. We couldn't do this without the support of our superintendent, our board, our leaders that we have in place. They've given us the opportunity to change lives. John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership, and we have phenomenal leadership in DeKalb County that makes it possible for principals to do the impossible.
I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school, yeah, I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school, yeah, I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school, yeah, I'ma go to school, I'ma go to school. I'ma be what I wanna be. All you gotta do is believe. You can be what you wanna be. All you gotta do is believe. And I'ma make it to the top. 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 And we gon' make it to the top. And we gon' make it to the top.
To make it to the top, yeah, you gotta keep it cool. Gotta get good grades and stay down in school. Yeah, I'm 17 and I got a lot of knowledge. Just hear me out, cause I'm already in college. Stick to it and don't never let up. Stack up on them A's, that's the best thing to do. Keep pushing through and don't never give up. Kids are the future, so who's with us?
I'ma go to school.